It's 11:43 p.m., and I'm staring at server logs when Harper's phone lights up on the kitchen counter. The message preview makes me freeze. I got promoted. Now I have to thank my boss properly. My name is Colin Merritt, and I'm 45 years old. I run a cybersecurity consulting firm from my home office in suburban Cleveland. For 15 years, I've been married to Harper Sloan, a woman who climbs corporate ladders like they're jungle gyms. Tonight, I'm about to discover just how athletic she really is. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Within 30 minutes of that text, my phone pings with a bank alert. Our joint credit card just paid for the Grand Regency's presidential suite. $700 for one night. I pour myself 3 fingers of Jameson and screenshot everything. Harper thinks I'm just some tech nerd who fixes computers. She doesn't know that cybersecurity consultants are basically professional paranoids with government clearances. We're trained to find things people don't want found. We're very, very good at it. I access our cloud storage, all perfectly legal since we share the account. Harper's backup files paint a picture that would make a divorce attorney weep with joy. Text messages, emails, calendar invites, and photos that definitely weren't taken in any boardroom I've ever seen. The affair started 3 months ago with Eli Warren, her new HR director. 51 years old, married to a socialite named Tess, and apparently Harper's ticket to the executive floor. The messages read like a bad romance novel written by someone who learned English from corporate training videos. Your performance review was outstanding, from 2 weeks ago. I think you deserve a very special bonus, from last Tuesday. And my personal favorite, meet me in the executive conference room after hours. Bring your laptop. We'll be working late. I finish my whiskey and start planning my own promotion. The next morning, Harper emerges from our bedroom, wearing a dress I've never seen before. Black silk, probably costs more than my monthly server fees. She's humming while applying lipstick that's definitely not her usual shade. Big day at the office? I ask, not looking up from my coffee. Just another performance review, she says, checking herself in the hallway mirror. Eli wants to discuss my career trajectory. I bet he does. She doesn't catch the edge in my voice. Harper's always been better at giving attention than receiving it. After she leaves, I spend 2 hours documenting everything. Screenshots, bank statements, hotel receipts, restaurant charges. Harper and Eli have been using company funds for their little romance. Fake conferences in downtown hotels, business dinners at restaurants that specialize in private booths, travel expenses for trips that never happened. This isn't just adultery. It's embezzlement. At 6 p.m., I drive downtown to Marconi's Wine Bar, Harper's new favorite spot. She's there with Eli, sitting in a corner booth like they're discussing quarterly projections. Eli's hand is on her thigh under the table. Harper's laughing at something he said, touching his arm in that way she used to touch mine. I order a beer at the bar and watch the show. Eli Warren looks exactly like what central casting would order for sleazy middle management. Receding hairline, expensive suit that can't hide his gut, wedding ring that he keeps sliding on and off his finger. Harper whispers something in his ear. He grins and signals for the check. They're heading to the hotel. I know because I've read this script in their text messages. I finish my beer, leave a 20 on the bar, and drive home to prepare my own performance review. The Grand Regency's lobby gleams with marble and brass fixtures that scream, expense account. I walk to the front desk, carrying a small package wrapped in hotel stationery. Excuse me, I tell the desk clerk, a young woman with perfectly straightened hair and a practiced smile. I need to leave this for the guests in the presidential suite. It's from their office. Very urgent. She takes the package without question. Inside is a USB drive labeled, "For HR, enjoy the show," and a printed note. Your performance review has been documented. Expect a call from compliance. I'm back home by 9 p.m., sitting in my office, when Harper's key turns in the front door. She's disheveled, her perfect makeup smeared, walking like someone who just finished an Olympic event. "How was work?" I ask from the kitchen. "Long day," she says, not meeting my eyes. "I'm going to shower." I hand her a manila envelope. "Before you do that, you might want to look at this." "What is it?" "Your promotion packet. Congratulations." Her hands shake as she opens it. Inside are printouts of every text message, every email, every receipt, every photo. Her face goes white, then red, then white again. "Colin, I can explain. No need. It's all very clear. You've been working hard for that promotion. Very hard, very creatively." She tries to speak, but I hold up my hand. I've forwarded everything to corporate compliance, and to Eli's wife, and to your mother. Performance reviews should be transparent, don't you think? Harper's phone starts ringing. Then mine, then hers again. "Good luck with your career," I say, walking back to my office. "You're going to need it." The next morning, Harper's gone before I wake up. She's left a note on the kitchen counter. "We need to talk. This isn't what you think." Actually, it's exactly what I think. But I'm curious to see how she plans to spin it. I drive to my gym, a converted warehouse where my friend Mike trains boxers and guys like me who need to hit things. Mike's been my sparring partner for 10 years. He's also a retired police detective who understands the therapeutic value of controlled violence. "You look like someone who needs to break something," Mike says when I walk in. "My wife's been promoting herself horizontally." "Ouch. What's your plan?" "I'm thinking about a hostile takeover." Mike hands me gloves and headgear. "Don't get mad, get creative." For an hour, I pound heavy bags and imagine they're wearing expensive suits. Mike watches me work through 15 years of accumulated frustration. "Feel better?" he asks when I'm done. "I'm just getting started." That afternoon, I receive a call from Janet Morrison, head of corporate compliance at Harper's company. She wants to schedule a meeting to discuss irregularities in expense reporting and potential policy violations. "I'm available anytime," I tell her. "I have extensive documentation." While we're talking, my computer chimes with a news alert. I've set up monitoring software on Harper's work email, perfectly legal since she uses our home internet, and I'm the network administrator. She's been called in for an emergency meeting with HR. I pour myself a coffee and settle in to watch the show. Harper's office building is a glass tower that reflects the gray Cleveland sky like a mirror. I'm sitting in a cafe across the street with my laptop, watching the security camera feeds I've accessed through a vulnerability in their network. Corporate compliance is raiding Harper's office. 2 security guards escort her to the elevator while she carries a cardboard box. Her face is the color of old newspaper. Eli Warren is nowhere to be seen. My phone buzzes with a text from Harper. "Come home, we need to talk." I respond, "Busy, maybe later." Actually, I'm not busy at all. I'm just enjoying the show. At 4 p.m., my doorbell rings. I expect to see Harper, but instead find a woman in her late 40s wearing a Chanel suit and the expression of someone who's just discovered her husband's secret credit card statements. "You must be Colin," she says. "I'm Tess Warren, Eli's wife. We need to talk." I invite her in and offer coffee. She accepts, settling into my living room like she's planning to stay a while. "I received your package," she says. "Very thorough documentation. Very illuminating." I believe in transparency. "So do I. Which is why I think you should know that your wife isn't Eli's first workplace romance. She's number 4 this year." "This is interesting." I lean forward. "Eli has a pattern," Tess continues. "He targets ambitious women, promises career advancement, uses company resources for his entertainment, then moves on when things get complicated. Usually the women get fired for policy violations while he gets a stern talking to." "Usually? This time is different. This time I'm done protecting his reputation." Tess opens her purse and removes a thick folder. Financial records, private investigators' reports, documentation of 3 other affairs, evidence of systematic abuse of company resources. I've been building a case for 2 years. Why are you sharing this with me? Because I want to destroy him completely, and you have the technical skills to make it happen. I refill her coffee and smile. Tell me more. For the next 2 hours, Tess and I plan the complete professional and personal destruction of Eli Warren. She has the financial records and legal documentation. I have the technical expertise and digital access. Together, we're going to turn his world into a smoking crater. By 6 p.m., we've uploaded evidence of Eli's embezzlement to the company's internal investigation database. We've sent anonymous tips to the IRS about unreported income. We've forwarded documentation of his gambling debts to his company's security department. But we're just getting started. That evening, I drive to Eli's luxury condo in the warehouse district. His car is parked in the garage, a vintage Porsche that probably costs more than most people's houses. I'm carrying a small bag of supplies from the hardware store. Security cameras are for deterring amateurs. I'm a cybersecurity consultant. I know where they are, how they work, and how to avoid them. I also know that tire repair kits contain very sharp tools. 20 minutes later, Eli's Porsche is sitting on 4 flat tires with "Home Wrecker" written across the windshield in Harper's favorite red lipstick. I've also left a note under the wiper. Next time, it's your house. I'm back home by 8 p.m. sitting in my office. When Harper finally comes through the front door, she looks like she's been through a blender. "They fired me," she says from the doorway. "I heard. This is your fault. Actually, it's your fault. I just documented it." She starts crying, which might have affected me 6 months ago. Now it just sounds like background noise. "What do you want?" she asks. "I want you to understand that actions have consequences. I want you to realize that your choices have prices, and I want you to pack your things and get out of my house." This is our house. Check the deed, my name, my mortgage, my house. Her phone rings. She looks at the screen and her face goes even whiter. "That's probably Eli," I say. "You should answer it. I'm sure he has lots of career advice for you." Harper's friend Jenna arrives the next morning while Harper is packing. Jenna's 33, blonde, and has been Harper's best friend since college. She's also been covering for Harper's affair, lying to me about Harper's whereabouts, and helping coordinate their hotel meetings. I know this because I've been monitoring all of Harper's communications. Jenna doesn't know that I know. Yet. "Colin, this has gone too far," Jenna says, following me into the kitchen. "Harper made a mistake, but destroying her career is cruel. Cruel would be letting her destroy other people's marriages without consequences. She's my best friend. I can't just watch you ruin her life. You didn't seem concerned about my life when you were helping her sneak around." Jenna's face flushes. "I don't know what you're talking about." I show her my phone screen. It displays text messages between her and Harper. "Colin's working late again. Perfect time for your meeting. I'll tell him you're with me if he asks. The Grand Regency has a back entrance on 5th Street. You've been her accomplice for 3 months," I say. "You helped her lie, cheat, and steal. You're as guilty as she is." Jenna tries to deny it, but I have screenshots of everything. Her coordination efforts, her alibis, her advice on avoiding detection. She's been Harper's full-service adultery consultant. "What do you want?" she asks finally. "I want the truth about something. Harper's not smart enough to orchestrate this alone. She needed help with the financial manipulation, the fake expense reports, the document falsification. You work in accounting. You helped her cook the books." Jenna's silence confirms everything. "Here's what's going to happen," I continue. "You're going to help me finish this, or I'm going to send your involvement to your boss, your husband, and the State Board of Accountants. Your choice." She agrees to cooperate. She doesn't have a choice. That afternoon, Jenna calls Harper's office and requests a meeting with the new interim HR director. She brings documentation of additional financial irregularities, expense reports that Jenna herself helped falsify, but now presented as evidence of Harper's sole responsibility. While Jenna is destroying Harper's remaining credibility, I'm visiting Eli Warren's office building. The security guard recognizes me from my corporate consulting work and waves me through without checking my credentials. Eli's office is on the 15th floor, corner suite with windows facing the lake. His secretary tells me he's in a meeting, but I can wait. I don't need to see him, I just need 5 minutes with his computer. Corporate executives are terrible with cybersecurity. Eli's password is his wife's maiden name plus his birth year. His email contains evidence of systematic harassment, financial manipulation, and abuse of authority dating back 5 years. I forward everything to the company's board of directors, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and 3 local news stations. I also upload it to a file-sharing site and post the link on the company's internal message board. By the time I leave the building, Eli Warren's career is over. That evening, Harper calls me from Jenna's apartment. She's crying again. "They're going to press charges," she says. "Embezzlement, fraud, conspiracy. I could go to prison. You should have thought about that before you decided to promote yourself. I need a lawyer. I need help. You need to accept responsibility for your choices." I hang up and pour myself a drink. Tomorrow is going to be very interesting. The rooftop parking lot of the Grand Regency Hotel overlooks downtown Cleveland at sunset. Private, quiet, and perfect for endings. I invited Harper, Eli, Jenna, and Tess here at 7. They believed we were negotiating a truce. They were very wrong. Harper arrived first, looking nothing like the polished executive she once was. "Thank you for meeting," she said weakly. "We need to fix this." Nothing needs fixing. Everything is going exactly as planned. Eli showed up next, disheveled and defeated. Tess had filed for divorce and locked down their accounts, and his company had fired him for cause. "You've ruined everything," he snapped. "No," I said. "You ruined yourself. I just documented it." Jenna and Tess stepped off the elevator, and soon we were standing in a loose circle, the sun dropping behind the skyline. "Here's what happens next," I said, keeping my voice steady. I turned to Harper. "Your new employer withdrew their job offer after receiving your expense records, termination letter, and embezzlement documentation." Her face collapsed. "How did you—" "I've known everything for months." I faced Eli. "Your gambling debts are now public record. Tess's attorney has frozen your assets. The IRS is auditing you, and the Attorney General is reviewing your harassment complaints." He opened his mouth to argue, but I cut him off. "Everything I've done is legal. I only made sure the right people saw the truth." Then I addressed Jenna. "Your accounting license is under ethics review. Your husband has the evidence of your fraud. Your boss now knows you falsified records for favors." Jenna's eyes filled with tears. "You said you'd protect me if I cooperated." I lied, just like you did. Finally, I nodded to Tess. "Your divorce will be final in 60 days. Eli's prenup stands." Tess gave me a sharp, satisfied smile. I stepped to the edge of the roof, the city lights flickering awake. Revenge isn't rage. It's patience and precision. You don't break things, you let people break themselves. Harper approached me, desperate. "Colin, we can fix this. Counseling, anything. There is no we. You ended that when you decided your promotion depended on sleeping upward." I handed her a manila envelope. "Divorce papers. I'm keeping everything. You're keeping your debts. Sign by Friday or I file with adultery and fraud attached." Eli puffed his chest. "This isn't over." I held up my phone. "It's recorded. Your threats will look great with the restraining order." They scattered. Harper and Jenna whispering frantically, Eli stomping off alone, Tess thanking me before leaving. I remained on the rooftop, the city glowing below me. My phone buzzed with alerts, articles, posts, messages. Harper and Eli were already becoming a cautionary tale. I headed to the elevator. Sometimes the villain wins. Sometimes the nice guy becomes the smart guy. At the lobby, my phone rang. Mike from the gym. How'd it go? Better than expected. Celebrating tonight? I feel like I just earned the promotion I actually deserved. I stepped out into the Cleveland night, ready for the next chapter of my life.